the Gmtk Game Jam. Known for being one of the biggest online run game jams ever, this year the jam ended up receiving well over 7,500 entries. Yet, despite this, we managed to get top 100? Huh? What? Which is actually a downgrade from last year because we got 23rd overall last, but that is entirely besides the point. Actually, quick flashback to last year. The Gmtk 2023 Game Jam was the first non-school related game jam I had ever entered, and I did so with my good pal Sev over on HeyDev. Like I said, we got 23rd overall, which was very exciting, and we had so much fun that we decided to go back and do it again for 2024. Similarly to last year, Sev did the programming, and I handled the art, and we both handled various aspects of the gameplay design and writing. This year, we were also joined by the lovely Starling, who did the music for our game. Theme this year was built to scale. We had a decent amount of trouble trying to decide on what the game would even be. We initially considered a secret world of Hereeeee style game where you were a little guy running around helping someone prepare for their tea party, but ultimately decided on casino theming instead. So I love gambling, let's go gambling! And thus arrives the premise of our game, Mice and Dice, a game where you play as a mouse and your owner needs to make money fast. Everyone knows the best way to make money is by winning at gambling, and the best way to win at gambling is cheating, and thus your owner employs you to sneak peeks at other players' cards so that she can win. Sev and I are both people who take the visual elements of a game into heavy consideration when making it, and so after deciding what the game was about, we immediately spent a few hours developing the character designs and general atmosphere of the game. Here's an Easter egg: the main character of Mice and Dice is actually a character from our entry last year, Magnetism Rally. I guess this means for 2025 we need to make a game about one of the 3 new characters we added into Mice and Dice. Speaking of the characters, we went about making the characters the same way we did last year. We first determined what sorts of characters would exist, individually made a design for each of them, showed each other our designs, and then consolidated these designs into new characters. We decided on 4 characters with distinct personalities and themes based around different card suits. Sweets. Although we liked the idea of a mouse helping its owner cheat at a casino, we had trouble figuring out how we wanted to realize this. Did we want a revolving table that the mouse could sneak around? Did we want stealth elements or more puzzle-like elements? And how did we want to convey this information? Ultimately, Sev came up with the awesome idea of combining a 3D world with 2D UI that the player needed to pay attention to. The game works as follows. You, the mouse, need to navigate the playing table everyone is playing at. Your owner will tell you what card she wants information on, and you need to sneak across the table, view the card, remember it, and report it back to your boss. You need to be careful to avoid the opponent's line of sight and will oftentimes need to wait out turns, indicated by a bar at the top of the screen, for characters to look in different directions so you can sneak past. Having an entire card game going on while you were sneaking around was a concept that I really enjoyed, and so we stuck with it. While we designed the characters together, I did the pixel art scene in-game. I used trusty old Sprite to illustrate everything, and I honestly do not have a lot to say about this section. I just sat down and grinded it out. Didn't have a lot of time for concepting or iteration since it was a game jam. Also, Sev did the 3D models. Shout out Sev! She did an awesome, amazing job integrating my pixel art textures into fully made models.
Hi, hello, I'm Sev. My main role on the game was as the programmer, as well as chipping in with some art help here and there. Though you spend most of your time in Mice and Dice playing through the stealth sections, that's not necessarily where most of my dev time went, even though maybe it should have been. An equal amount of time went into other sections of the game, like the main menu, the opening scenes, and the tutorial. To keep things organized, I turned each of these sections into their own state and gave every state its own update loop and functionality. The main game manager keeps track of which state is currently active and runs the code for that state only. This way the game can easily transition between its different sections, and new states can be added without having to worry about the code interfering with existing states. While working on the game over the 4 days, I think there was a lot of fun little tasks that I could distract myself on. Stuff like little dialogue effects and UI polish that I thought would be quick to add and more fun to work on in the moment. And they were quick to add, but there's a lot of them. So I got to the last day and I had all of these really fun menu animations and effects and sounds, and I was like, oh gosh, I need to finish the game loop. I need to make the game. I need to make the actual game. I had like the player movement working and the stealth detection, but I still needed to put everything together, including making all the levels, which got done in maybe the last few hours of the jam. Oops. I guess my main takeaway would be to make sure the main gameplay loop was working first and then add all the shiny effects afterwards, which feels obvious in hindsight, but you know, it all worked in the end, so it's fine. It's fine.
The final day of the game jam was stressful. We had not gotten a single build of the game actually properly made until the final day, which you know what, we know that's silly, but as a result, we were pretty stressed. And by we, I mean Sev. Sev was fighting for her life trying to get the last puzzle into the game, and I was sitting there anxiously offering useless moral support. But the game eventually built, and all seemed well, until we uploaded it to itch and realized a terrible error. For some reason, the WebGL version would just crash. Whenever we tried to get past the tutorial, we'd get an error, and this was only a problem in the WebGL version. The regular downloadable build version works just fine, but we really wanted to get an in-browser version working for accessibility reasons, so we were stumped. It was only after scouring niche forums and random subreddits that we found the answer. The way that Unity rendered calculated transparency when done in code could get funky in WebGL versions. This meant that it got mad at the overhead map we had in the corner of the game, where the vision cones were just so prettily made to fade into the dark. We just turned that off so they've got like a harsh cutoff, and the game was good to go. The game got 88th place overall, getting 7th in style and pretty decent ratings in creativity and enjoyment. Although we definitely could have ironed out some bugs, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I like it. I like this game, yay! Even though we placed lower than we did last year, I'm definitely prouder of this entry. I think cooler concepts were realized, and with some ironing out, this could be a really funky little game. I'm really intrigued by the idea of playing a game while someone else plays an entirely different game that you need to play around, and it's something I want to look into in the future. Hey Mocha, why is this coming out like 6 months after the Gmtk Game Jam happened? It's not even the same year anymore? Listen, I got a new job, and then I got tinnitus? I still don't know how to say it, but I can hear that ringing in my ears. So that's been messing with me. I am as disappointed as you are. Moving on. Go follow OutToSev if you haven't already. She is an insanely skilled developer, and her long-term game, Delphinium, is breathtakingly beautiful. Another shout out to our wonderful composer, Starling, who really helped elevate this game into something special. Also consider subscribing to me, if you would like. Got other devlogs on this channel and more to come. Of course, the link to play the game itself is in the description. Alright, see you soon. Bye bye!